And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESEA Advanced Season 52. From the casting, this is me, Zane, and along with Inflict, we are back to cast yet another game of CCG this week, and perhaps the last game of this week, as they're going to be facing off against Retake Renegades in this best of one series. Welcome, Inflict, my friend. We are back again after a not so wonderful nuke map in the previous match, I believe, in the OT. But we're back again today, perhaps not to push it in the OT, but to finish it in the regulation.
Hopefully so, but we can. Well, that's pretty much all we can do. We can hope. CCG and the nuke that we witnessed on Monday, it didn't exactly go as planned, of course, and unfortunately, CCG lost that game out, as you said, on the OT. But it did show some improvement. They started off really strong on that map. Unfortunately, the second half it just did not work out for them. As soon as the side switched over to the CD side, the game got a little bit too close to call and went out of the hands of CCG. Had one or two rounds been a tad bit different, maybe the result could have been completely different, and CCG could have easily come out with a win. But they're gonna look to make up for that distance and difference today. We're gonna be heading on to another new map this time around. It is gonna be Dust 2, where CCG are gonna test their poison at and see if they can come across as victors. So far, the team that they're facing off against have not had great success either. The score lines are pretty similar across both sides, with 2 wins and 5 losses for either of these two teams right now in the season so far. So both of them are sort of at a backtrack. They're looking to mount their way back up into the second half of the regular season, and hopefully this will be their start to do so.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams are suffering through a very thin needle here, so it's gonna be tough. But nonetheless, they're gonna keep on fighting, and this fight is between those who are struggling as CCGR not having many games win there. They should start crunching up those numbers, and this might be a very, very good opportunity for them to do so in this Dust 2 map. Something a little bit different than what we normally see. A Dust 2 map being played in a competitive scene, which is kind of rare nowadays, as people prefer other maps over Dust 2. But it is kind of wonderful to go back to our grassroots on where the actual CS scene began thriving from. I remember being it one of the entire like world of esports at some point. But yeah, we do start CCG on the terrorist side. It wasn't CCG who won the pistol round, so they're not gonna be able to pick. They're gonna get a double kill there. Kraken will get a double. Jenny's inside the side. They have exploited the long and short both. It's gonna be a retake from the retake renegades.
One that is going successful so far, actually. Zox has found 2 frags. A 2 versus 3 now. Crack comes down to Kraken and Jenny, looking to hold on. Jenny finds a nice little headshot with the Glock, holding down the side. The front line now has help available as well, but the shots are not connecting on the other end. Eventually, they do. Jenny gets the first. Kraken follows up for the final one in a 2 versus 3. Successful for CCG in the opening round.
Very, very successful opening round for CCG there. A very, very good rush to the A side. Usually, in Dust 2 nowadays, you don't see an A push coming in, due to how USPs can be very, very active in those long range fights. While on the other hand, I mean, Glocks, they're good for close range fights, but not that wonderful in long range. And they even bought P250s to go with, so they didn't even use those weapons. So they took the risk, and they went from short. Actually, wonderful entrance from both sides to just pressure it into a corner. And look at that fearless beetle. He's gonna come from behind, get a headshot onto XOX there, and that means the B side is opened up. B side, I'm not sure what he was doing down there in mid, but that's a site completely given away to the terrorists, to the CCG side. And now retake renegades once again on the retake with just pistols in hand against weapons.
Should be relatively easy for CCG to hold on to this one. A little bit of team shots there towards double doors, but they're finding kills in quick succession here, and there's practically nothing that retake Renegades could do. And well, there you go. A nice little cleanup to begin with for CCG in the second round. This should help give them a tiny bit of an economy boost to kick things off here on this map. But retake Renegades now it seems like they're gonna get their hands onto their preferred weapons. At least most of them. Praise is gonna actually be playing with an MP9, but that's going to allow them to have quite a bit of util in their back pocket, but the rest of the squad are going to have M4s all across the board and only one defuse kit available for the roster to work with. So Praise's life is going to be quite important, and if he dies, his positioning of death matters quite a lot too. While CCG, they're going to just play off of their bonus.
Definitely the case. It's a bit. I feel like Dust 2 currently it's a bit T-sided map. Like unlike before when with CT you can just stand on top of your spawn, get a nice spawn, hold the double door angle, get the information out. But now it's a bit hard to do so because you need to stand on that tiny angle to get that information while the terrorists can move around still the same space. But the space has been narrowed down a lot from the CT side. Also, the long control is very hard to hold from CT side as well. No matter how hard you try, even if you get the spawn for a long, by the time you reach there, the terrorists can
Oh,
already reach the area. Oh, that's a bad molly. Jenny doesn't get hurt there. It's not going to be very lethal, but it does take away a little bit of that armor, and it's gonna stop their push by quite a bit. Even though XOX is there on the side with only a flash available, he's gonna have to hold for his dear life from the corner, while Sabercat is holding the a long angle. They might even go from mid, and like I said, terrorists they have a lot of openings here. They can exploit short, they can exploit mid, and once mid is exploited, it's very hard to hold either of the sides because it's just not that good. Only the B side is seems to be capable of being held properly. Other than that, it's not going to be the case. While the massacre happens in mid here, M4 gonna deal quite some damage there. Time finds and more with the M4 silence one, and that's gonna be an easy run to wrap up. CCG not a few misuse of utilities there, and a few of the miscommunications, maybe a bit of confusion in the decision making. They were confused, they looked like they didn't know where they wanted to go. At the end they decided to go through med, but they weren't able to get the retakes, they weren't able to get the trades in correct timing, and it was just one person getting a triple kill before he got killed. And if you decide to go through mid and just let one person manhandle you like that, it's gonna be very hard.
certainly, but CCG they're gonna stock up on AKs here to begin with as well. Poison kicks off things right to get traded out, but Sabercat still keeping things intact. Not for long. Eventually, it's gonna fall to the hands of Fearless Beetle, and now we've come down to a 3 versus 3. The round sort of resets in equilibrium as the round slows down again. CCG they do have one player over towards LT, and he's gonna find a nice little headshot onto Zox. And that's going to open this whole map up. Praise in time. They have absolutely no idea what the intentions of CCG are. They've spotted one player towards LT who just found a fresh frag, but a lot of the rest of the squad actually, I think all of them got spotted out over towards long. So retake Renegades, they're left questioning what exactly is it that CCG wants to pursue here. Another peek from LT. He's spotted out another player at short. And that's going to allow the rest of the squad to move up over towards the A side. That's provided enough of a distraction for them to move up. And Fearless Beetle takes advantage, finding the last two frags. Going to try and plant the bomb for some extra cash, but an easy third round for CCG.
That's an easy third round for CCG there. After losing the weapons that they bought in the bonus round, the SMGs and half buy weapons, they were able to get a full buy on their hands, and they were able to wrap things up quickly. Now a op comes in from Poison's side, from the CT side. This op's gonna be able to handle and hold sites quite easily there. Sabercat, not sure what he wanted to do with that Molly. Maybe he wanted to stop anybody from pushing in eventually, if anybody did push in, but seems like nothing came through. XOX is only down with the Deagle, the only person. Never mind, not the only person. Along with Praise, who doesn't have weapon, they have three weapons, and I think three weapons is more than enough to hold two sites in Dust 2. But the question is, when they decide to rush in, can these three weapons be enough? Poison's holding out in the area, and he's gonna take a quick peek there. Molly comes through. Poison, he has to jump down, and that's gonna open up a space for them. Poison, he goes back on the stairs. He's gonna be able to find one value. Treehen taken out pretty early on, and that's gonna be a kill. They know where Sabercat is. The nade will come through. Nade will deal some damage as he
Oh,
jumps through, and that's gonna be a kill.
good night
But
there.
Poison, he rotated in. Oh no!
Oh no, that's
Mm.
bad.
But he hasn't
Offshot
died yet.
does connect, but it's across the corner of the wall, and that's going to cost him his lifetime. He's trying to hold on, but there's only so much that he can do all on his own. There's
Oh no!
backup available now, but he's going to get burned down. Kraken picks him off with ease. Zox,
Um,
he gets a nice little headshot, but eventually falls to his demise. Last one alive is going to be praised. I mean, M4 picked up. He does have an 8 to work with, and that's going to be very lethal, particularly onto Jenny, if he can connect it, that is. But Icarus still alive and well, and he's going to be the one that puts praise into the grave. And that's a fourth. CCG off to a great start on Dust 2.
that was a really, really confusing and weird round. I mean, people attacking each other, op shot being missed, and after that, I'm not sure. They were like 2v1ing that opera there, and he was surviving for quite some time there. He even took out one before he died. So I'm not sure what happened there, but that was a lot of weird stuff happening all across. And I saw somebody just walking into the molly slightly and then just dying to it. He wasn't even flashed or pressured or anything. He just walked into it and died for no reason. I mean, there were people who was coming towards him, but not immediate pressure. He could have just stayed out. And look at that. Another a long rush swiftly coming through from CCG. They're going to be able to find a kill very easily there as more rushes come through. The nade, Jenny is going to be able to turn around and more people coming towards him. And that's going to be the
Ooh.
last person there. And Jenny finds another headshot with the Glock. And it's all down to Sabercat right now.
Quick round. Nice attempt from RetakeRenegades that sort of tried to catch CCG off guard with the aggression, but they didn't have exactly a great arsenal to back them up with it. Sabercat, nice attempt, good shot onto Icarus, picks up an AK Molotov along the way, but having to deal with 4 players, that's not gonna be particularly easy. Sure, 2 of them don't exactly have great weaponry. They probably have better ones actually compared to those, but you'd like to hold on to this. And AK is a greater upgrade than what an M4 could be. So you want to keep that, especially given the financial situation that Retake Renegades are in. But this is confirmed to be the 5th victory for CCG. With having lost only their bonus round so far, they're off. They're quite literally on a roll. And ooh, Kraken, nice shot just before the bomb went off. They're not gonna allow them to save an AK, and hence we have the 5th.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of hard to hold on to that A side, and CCG hasn't tried for that B side as of yet, but looks like they're looking towards it right now. They're gonna call it timeout to possibly discuss some things like how they want to execute these rounds, because that's going to be surely a buy round, and it is expected, as the previous round was very obvious. It was an eco round, a quick rush to end things off from the side of Retake Renegades RR there. And now with full buys coming in, CCG, they want to be prepared and they want to make sure they take it to the right step, because if they do, then that's going to be a destruction. That's going to be a disastrous first round for Retake Renegades, and there will be very, very hard that will be very, very hard to recover from their side, because CCG will just have a massive lead going forward um, with this round win. So it's really, really important for them to try and talk this round. I'm glad that it came from CCG, not from Retake Renegades in a way, because Retake Renegades should be taking that tactical pause and talking like, hey, we haven't won any rounds beside that one round where CCG didn't have proper weapons, and now this time looks like they are going to be planned out perfectly, but CCG still are persistent to go in, but it's gonna be greeted by
Oh,
3 members. B side, as I mentioned, the only side that is going to be held perfectly by the counter-terrorists. And CCG decide to go catch them off guard on this one, thinking that, okay, maybe they won't have many people there, because usually you don't have many people to your B side, just one, but they were greeted by 3 members, including an op on that B side that round.
yeah, that was Certainly a welcome that CCG weren't expecting, but quite a quick round that's come to a conclusion, and Treehan likely wanting to hold on to that op since the value of that is quite high. And CCG, although they've won quite a few rounds, but the economy still is not exactly in a pristine condition. Not as of yet. Icarus has died quite a few times, hence resulting in him only having $350 in the bank. Jenny does have a lot, but of course they like to keep as much value as they can on their side of things and not let the op go over, which one of them already poison gets has a hold of. Treehan positioning spotted out, and he has to live for 30 more seconds. This is going to be a challenging task for him. As now he's gonna eventually get pinched in. Nice shot. Looking for more. Poison goes down. And if the remaining two players somehow manage to get into his crosshair, there's a likely chance Trihan might be able to clutch this thing out of it. After all, Zox around the corner too should be an easy frag, and it is. Oh my goodness, a 4K for Trihan. Unfortunately, the round still is gonna go the way of Retake Renegades, but what a massive cost it came at.
That was a complete mayhem. I thought that was it for CCG, but look at that Treehan just having that up sometimes. Some days I look at Treehan and I feel like yeah, he's gonna blow everything up, and that's one of the days it feels like he's already starting out really strong, getting that 4K that Tron, and having to hold on to that up is just it's just gonna be so much for him. And look at that shot coming through the double doors. Poison already down to 27 HP. They're not gonna be completely dead, but that's enough to just take him out with one or two bullets later on. With an AK, it's much more lethal than the M4s. This time, CCG taking a little bit more precaution measures and not just entering the site with the mayhem. So it's gonna be less like messy from their end. But I like this. I like this double door hold by Sabercat there with an SMG at that MP9. So if they decide to walk in, that's going to be an MP9 that's going to be facing. An MP9 is very lethal in that close range. But it looks like CCG, they're gonna not gonna enter through mid. Instead, they're just gonna try to play it safe out here. But every entrance is aggressively held by the side of Retake Renegades here. CCG, they haven't found any values yet. Sabercat still on the corner. They're not gonna check the corner. Huge mistake. Sabercat's gonna be able to get one. Karas doesn't find him, and he's not going to be able to find him at the very end. Jenny finally takes a trade, but it's going to be already too late. Sabercat finding that double there might have just opened up the round for CCG. Kraken looking towards that B side. Going to drop down some utilities. Mollies come through as they go in, but Praise is going to be able to shut down one. Kraken immediately takes the trade. He knows where the last person on the site is. Can he rush him through? He goes in. Still can't find the body as he's wasting time for his teammates to come and rotate in. The op comes in, but it doesn't matter. The op was just a distraction as time is going to be able to finish it off. And that's going to be the another round for Retake Renegades and CCG. They need to start checking their corners.
Yeah, the rounds have been close calls, but now CCG they've run out of funds. They're not going to have a lot to work with in this round, but they're still going for force by at least have three rifles to work with across the board. Kraken and Icarus, the situation is not going to be as great for them, but maybe possibly Deagles, possibly some SMGs to work with them, or just pistol upgrades. Yep, both of them going to have to work with Tech 9s and rely on the rest of their squad to lead the charge into this round, but this time out, after having won two consecutive rounds from the side of Retake Renegades, well, they're looking to take advantage of the fact that now they've finally broken through the economy of CCG that they had built up within those 5 rounds of victory that they had achieved. But if CCG can recover back quickly here, if they win this round, the recovery will be quite swift, of course. And the T economy is in such a state that their economy should get bounced back pretty quickly. But on the other hand, this would be a terrible time for Retake Renegades to lose a round because well, their bonus has gone down to absolutely nothing, and their economy still isn't exactly flourishing. So they need to keep on winning rounds. They need to stack as many together as they possibly can. Iker is off to a great start, and getting the frags to kick things off. The AKs haven't even come into play just yet. Iker is so weak, though. He's getting burned. 9 HP for him to work with, just barely surviving, and he's a meat bag to be punched at this point. While the rest of the squad, they're holding down the fort. Icarus, he's gonna be the one that looks to get information. Maybe put some damage in if he can, but Jenny is gonna be the primary attacker. He's found one. Icarus falls, 2 versus 3 now. Closing the distance. Time. Well, he's quite literally on CCG's face. 1 versus 3, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 1. Poison. No defuse kit available. There's absolutely nothing to be done here, but Freehand doesn't know that. He's going to go down trying to deny the defuse and confirm the round. CCG finally secure their 6th.
That was a beautiful round play by CCG. That round is sparked up some kind of destruction, as now if you look at the net worth here, none of the teams has the net worth to go luxury here, but still Poison's he's gonna decide to go for an up anyways, with whatever he has left, and everybody else is just gonna go for those saves. Like trying to get a early value on the op would be nice thing to do, and he is headed towards the right position, right angle for the time being. But if he loses that op, then that's an op picked up by CCG, which is gonna be more dangerous because they don't have much to save with, and one flash will just do the job. And look at that, that's gonna be a 4K down all the way. They know where the last person is. They're gonna try to spray through the smoke. No more bullets left on the gun, but they don't care. They're gonna be headed towards the side, and Fearless Beetle takes the op away. Astrihan, he's not alive to use that. Astrihan's gonna be Fearless Beetle's gonna be keeping that in the account for him for the time being. Beetle's not gonna be happy with that smoke from Icarus there. He was holding that side down, but time I think he might not be interested into this retake here. He might look for some exit frags down the long area. But that is a good round from CCG there. Even with a little bit of utilities that they could afford, they made complete use of it. That one flash is all that they needed to shut down this mid aggressive play that um, Retake Renegades had in mind.
This is already looking out to be a great first half from the side of CCG, as we only have 2 more rounds remaining before the conclusion of this one. CCG again, they're gonna have a good arsenal to work with in this one. The same cannot exactly be said for the other side. Actually, they've still managed to build the retake renegades. They've still managed to build up some a proper one. They have an op online in the hands of Poison as well. One defuse good, but a decent chunk of utility on their side as well. A lot of presence over towards the B side. One player holding down double doors, and CCG they're spread all across the board, at least for the time being, looking for some aggression. And it's gonna come in the but in the face of Poison. It's gonna be a trade over towards middle caused by the ops. And he's looking for more. Zox up close and personal. Unfortunately, that's a body shot and not enough actually. There may have been a shot at the knee actually onto Zox that caused him to live there and come out on top with that one. Icarus, he's gonna find Sabertooth. Zox is still extremely weak, and he's gonna try and pinch into the rest of the players. The smoke's gonna fade soon, and CCG, their spy senses are tingling, so they're gonna back off, play this rather safe, find that singular player. And Icarus, he's still lurking about. They still have absolutely no idea where Zox is, who can be maddeningly annoying, and he is. Kraken has been put into the grave because of him, and now it's come down to Icarus. He's found a frag already. He's looking to get a 4K to confirm this round again, and now it's come down to a 1v2. Zox still extremely weak, but he's not looking behind him. Praise is going to get an easy trade, and hence the 4th secured for RetakeRenegades.
In in a map like Dust 2, if you're pushing down mid and you don't have the information of the enemies, the most first things that anyone should be doing is buddying up, because you have a back to cover, you have a front to cover. Even if somebody kills you, you gotta take that trade. That's Zox with 15 HP when he ran away towards the spawn. There should have been a trade. There should have been a double play there right after Kraken died there. Someone should have just rushed in, take the kill onto Zox, but that didn't happen. They went by one, and they got killed from front, they got killed from bat, and then Icarus, he went in, he got a kill true to start things off, but then he got taken out. Now this round, CCG, they're trying to go from A again, not checking the corners, gonna ignore the flash. He's gonna go for the second kill. Very good trigger discipline again. Zox from the corner. CCG making huge, silly mistakes down in Dust 2 here. Very rookie mistakes coming in from their side to just not checking corners in the most obvious corners at that. They're throwing utilities, but the mollies didn't even connect fully there. And now, just with an USP, Treehan is going to be brought down to 50% health, and that through the smoke, Time will be able to finish the job, and that's going to be the fifth round for Retake Renegades. Fifth round that can be a bit questioning there because they shouldn't have fifth round there. They should have at least 2 rounds at the very most. Rest of them was a bit of like very weird mistakes coming in from CCG's side to give those rounds away to retake Renegades there. Just not checking corners, just rushing improperly, and then making these simple mistakes. But they're now on the CD side, less room for mistakes there, hopefully, and they should be able to wrap the rounds up. But then again, as I mentioned before, Dust 2 can be a bit terrorist sided due to like how the map has been reworked and is right now in the competitive pool. But then again, I'm talking on basis of competitive experience on the map. I mean competitive as in like a pub competitive experience, not in a like a professional level competitive experience. So things could be different, but we'll have to see and find out how it turns out. But 7-5 is not a satisfying score to be on the second half.
Yeah, the start was quite great for CCG, but you cannot take credit away from Retake Renegades either. They did a fantastic job, and they were quite resilient, adjusted quite nicely, and exploited any gap that they could find in CCG's gameplay. Caught right back up on with only a 2 round deficit, which can quite easily be eliminated just off the basis of a pistol round. This pistol round that we're about to witness so far, the last one was of course won by CCG, but the timer has finally it has finally started to tick down, and we are gonna be starting the game out yet again. CCG, I mean, they're still not a lead, and this pistol round, it can be crucial for either of these teams. Whoever wins it, the next 2 rounds, collective 2 rounds, should be quite easy for them just on the basis of this one. Especially for Retake Renegades here, they should be able to close out the gap quite easily given the CD economy as well if they're able to win this pistol round out. But we're gonna have to wait and see how it turns out. So far, quite widespread of these players on the map, as you can see. One player towards a long three hand right across the corner and a nice little headshot to kick things off, and he runs back, not wanting to get traded out here, while the rest of the squad of Retake Renegades is putting pressure over towards short. It's going to be a one-on-one trade to kick things off, and Icarus, he's just so good with these pistols, no matter what round it is, no matter if it's against pistols, if it's against rifles, he just connects, and another 3K for him. And that's going to be the 8th for CCG, the second pistol off the map.
Well, CCG now winning that pistol round, it does give me a little bit of reassurance that they're gonna have a few more rounds on the CT side. And one good thing about Dust 2 is you have a lot of choke points, like you have these tunnel on the B, and then on the A you have long, and then you have short. These choke points are very short range, so even with a little guns like SMG, you can really hold them very good. And if CCG decide to just keep themselves on these SMGs for a few rounds, unlike Terror side where they lost a round with just because they were having an SMG and then they were able to bounce it back later on CD side, they can just keep these SMGs for as long as they want. They can win 10th, 11th round even with these. So that's gonna be some good economy value for them after winning the pistol round. But the terrorists, they forcing a buy on this round. I mean, sorry, not forcing a buy. Going completely eco on this round will give CCG just another round. Hopefully, if no mistakes are made, and later on they're gonna be able to afford weapons. But then again, I said CCG are gonna be able, should be able to defend it, even if the terrorists come in with a full might. Should be able to defend this one out. So far, CCG they haven't found anything, and retake renegades they're playing it quite safe. The first one's gonna be seen fearless beetle, some damage dealt. They have a double setup here, and they're going to be able to get a double kill. Triple kill comes in. Fearless build. Jenny's going to be able to find one more, and Praise comes through, but doesn't find enough bullets through Ikara's there to get him down. That's going to be a quick and easy round for CCG. And now the real battle begins. CCG should be able to still bring this one in their bag if nothing goes wrong. They use the utilities properly, and if they ever are able to hold the size properly, especially this A side, because if you look at the body positioning right now from Retake Renegades, looks like it's gonna be an A execution or A rush. So CCG have to be careful here. Good thing they have brought 3 members down towards that A site. So we'll have to wait and find out what happens.
Ooh, Treehand getting quite aggressive. He should have heard
Oh
Zox here. Oh,
no.
still loses the fight. That's gonna be quite unfortunate. Jenny's still close by, just tucked into the corner. Likely won't get spotted here. Should be an easy trade with Zox. He's gonna take advantage of the smoke. Walks right past and Kraken. He might get caught off guard. It's all gonna come down to timing, and Kraken's turned away. There's a gap. There's a gap that Zox has figured out, and he's gonna exploit it. Kraken falls, gets headshotted, falls prey to the timing there, and the rest of the squad just falls out, falls off around him. Jenny, the singular player that had made his way past double doors, is going to be the last one alive, and Poison is going to finish them off too, and that's going to be the 6th on board, and Retake Renegades are back into the mix.
Very, again, very, I would say very bad round because I don't have any way to sugarcoat it from CCG side. They have one person playing aggressive on the double door. That means if it's smoked out and if you're hiding inside the smoke, nobody's covering the double door anymore. And somebody just easily snuck past in, has all the information in the world, and they're going to be able to get the value out of that flank. But in the end, Jenny, that flank that they originally implanted, didn't really come in handy for CCG. This round, they're going to all go in A long here. They're going to find people available on the A long. They're going to be able to take out one. But that's all they find. Meanwhile, in the back line, Fearless Beetle, he finds another one actually. That's gonna be 2. Then they find another one. Poison, he's still alive. He's gonna go for a reload. Karas takes the weapon away, but he's not gonna be able to find anybody. As I was mentioning before, previous round. So the double door is completely open out for them. And then Treehan goes in. He very I mean he isn't to blame there. He had a good positioning. That was a really smart move from him there. It's just that luck wasn't on his favor because M4 and AK, these 2 weapons are was supposed to be the same, but are now so different. The difference in between their firepower and everything is just so huge. Especially the silenced version of M4, it has only 20 bullets, and the bullets deal so less damage as well. Oh, this time around, Poison is gonna be able to find a perfect headshot onto Kraken to start the round off. And CCG were not able to hold them off this time as well. B site opened up, and I don't think B site is gonna be retakeable, especially in this Dust 2 with 5 members alive and CCG having 4. Even though they have utilities, they're not gonna be particularly interested in that. So yeah, that round just doesn't really didn't feel good for me from CCG side to lose.
Certainly doesn't, and CCG, they've already taken such a back foot here at the beginning of this. They've won 2 rounds, but that was at the very beginning of this half. After that, Retake Renegades, they've been quite successful at least so far, and now it's likely gonna start to take a toll on to CCG here. They're gonna have to be the one that show resilience instead of being the ones on the forefront here. Even though they do still technically have a lead, but the momentum, it feels like it's completely in favor of Retake Renegades. They've won 3 rounds in a row already. The economy is quite good actually across the board, averaging about 5 to 6K across every player. Moreover, CCG they don't have any money to work with. Kraken he's working with a 5/7. Sure, they do have a lot of utility across the board. Three diffuse kits actually as well, but every round counts. They lose out one, and they're gonna be out of money. And it's just the finances. It's always a struggle for every team that you witness playing on the CT side at this point in CS2. And I'm not entirely sure. God knows when that's gonna get fixed, but right now that's a struggle that teams have to tolerate and they have to play around and strategize around. But CCG so far, it's not exactly working out for them. The strategies can only work as if you win rounds, and so far that's not going their way exactly. That singular mistake, that one push through double doors in and 2 rounds ago could cost them this whole map, because now that sort of feels like the start of their downfall, where it just has been a complete meltdown for them. And now CCG, they're getting tested again with 4 rifles on board. The nade gonna get blown over. One player spotted out, and the pinch is coming in from B main. Kraken falls, and now there's only one player isolated onto the side. That's gonna be Jenny. Fallen, side taken over, and the bomb should go down with ease. Icarus has found poison, but that kill is not gonna be very highly influential, as they have absolutely no real estate, no stepping stone to move onto the B side. They've run out of most of their utility as well, and at this point it's just way too difficult for them to attempt it. And once again, it's going to be 3 players of CCG who are backing off, trying to go for the save just for the sake of the CT economy, that they are not going to be able to purchase rifles heading into the next one if they go for this, if they gamble this and lose. So they feel rather safer just conceding this round, letting the score tie up, and having those 3 rifles heading into the next round.
Yeah, one huge comparison I'd like to make oh from CCG's side and retake Renegades here is when they push out mid from CCG side. One huge mistake they did is they didn't utilize the utilities properly. Like I mentioned, if you're going double door, you have to play the buddy system. You have to make sure that there's no enemies in front of you and in behind you. Like you're not getting sandwiched there, and to stop that, CCG didn't use any smokes to stop anybody from peeking from car or the spawn. But retake renegades, they're absolutely doing that. Every time they come through mid CCG, they can't stop the push. They can't stop it, and they get sandwiched instead. Instead of sandwiching the enemy down in the middle, they are getting sandwiched themselves. They're getting shot from both sides. That happened. They pushed through tunnel. The tunnel push wasn't stopped. They pushed through middle double doors. The middle push wasn't stopped. And CCG had no answer but to give away the B side. And once B side has been taken, the retake feels 99% impossible because it's just not possible. It's just not that easy. Now look at that again. Good use of utilities from Retake Renegade to start rushing through the A long, and the A long is gone. And they're now gonna try and sandwich through this short and A long as well. But a good peek from Fearless Beetle shuts both of them down, and that's gonna be the round, perhaps. But the site has been found out. Treehan, not sure where he was looking, but he wasn't looking exactly where he's supposed to be, as they have the side opened up as flashes come through to try and stop this push from entering, but they have already penetrated the side. The C4 getting planted on, and now they're gonna try to shut down. Sabercat finds a headshot onto Kraken, and AK is just too strong right now on the game. And Fearless Beetle, he's gonna be able to find one for himself. Flashed out, Jenny's gonna be taken out. It's all down to Fearless Beetle, as he's gonna be shut down as well. Another flash from XOX will just do the job. Great use of utilities there. 3 flashes, 3 kills, and rest of them as follows, as Retake Renegades take the lead away from CCG. And now CCG, as they lose momentum, we know that they are known to never get it back again.
It's not looking too good right now for CGG, to be very realistic. But this time out, gonna be their attempt at bouncing right back. I suppose they're gonna be able to purchase into quite a few rifles at the very least. Icarus, who has been the star player for CCG so far, unfortunately, he's gonna be working with with the compromise here, of course. But he has been quite phenomenal with those pistols themselves, so he can still find value here, quite possibly. Actually, gonna be able to purchase a FAMAS. I'm not sure if he got dropped there, but or not. But still, it's rifles all across the board. Maybe not the preferable ones for two of those at the very least, but still, a good loadout has been put together, regardless of what the financial state was. So CCG, they do have a real fighting chance here, but they lose this, things could really start to look downhill from here on out. They don't have the opportunity to make as many mistakes as they once had possibly hoped for. They would have. It's a good start for the side of Retake Renegades yet again, with only three players alive for CCG in quick succession. It's come down to a 3 versus 3. The bomb now is starting to go down. Rian still alive with the op, and Fearless Beetle sort of on a flank. They have pinched down the players into a corner. It's not as widespread, the presence of the players of Retake Renegades, and suddenly it's all come down to a Saber Cat, and Fearless Beetle is going to be able to shut him down as well. Some extra love thrown to their body, and that's going to be the 10th round secured for CCG. They're not letting Retake Renegades run away with this, at least not for the time being.
Retake Renegade getting a taste of their own medicine there. CCG this time a bit persistent, and they were not letting them inside the side. Even though they have secured the side, they weren't able to hold it. They, instead of letting CCG bring the fight to them, they tried to bring the fight to CCG, which didn't work out well for them. Instead of just holding the site out, they tried to go out and take a few members down, and a shot through the through the through the boxes will do the job. And the Opper Poison going down on that round was huge for CCG. They absolutely needed that, and I love this peak. I love this angle from CCG. They can find something in the tunnel. That's going to be huge. But looks like the position has been revealed. They weren't able to find anything, as now the Retake Renegades, they try to take control of the short side. So I was saying CCG were very quick to respond to that retake over towards that B side, which caught most of the members of Retake Renegades off guard, and they weren't able to get any positioning after the plant, and they were just taken out from wherever they were, and it was a bit messy, and they were completely shut down there. Jenny not holding the good position there. He's gonna be burned down to quite some low HP there, as he's gonna be forced to get back right now, and they're looking towards that double door. While CCG, they still have all the members available, all the retaliation, but all these utilities coming in is gonna be huge. The Molly comes in to try and hold them for the time being, but it's gonna be immediately diffused there through the smoke. They're gonna be able to do some quite decent amount of damage, as they are now holding the side. Kraken's gonna be able to shut down the sandwich push this time, and it's all down to Poison, who's gonna be taken down from behind. Do they take the double up? Looks like they are not interested, as they're gonna be happy with 3 AKs, and CCG take the lead away from Retake Renegades, as we are headed on to 11th round, and a pretty crucial moment of the game, as things are about to heading towards the ending. It could be a better ending for CCG if they just keep this up.
It could very easily be a great one, but this time out is Retake Renegades. They're hoping that they don't have to fight for OT here. This round is going to count for it all. They do have the money to support them for the next 2 rounds, at least for the most of them. Zox should be able to drop some weapons over, so should Praise if need be for the next round. But the Arsenal, it's not the matter anymore. Both of them have enough to keep them going for at least a couple of rounds. And CCG, that's all they need to win this map as well. They started off good. They were up 5-1. Ever since then, it's sort of been trades back and forth, and now it seems like they've only won 2 rounds after winning the initial uh for two of this half with that game off of the pistol. But ever since then, they've only won 2 rounds. But the last two victories of theirs have been so decisive. They've kept 4 players alive in the last round, and it seems like the game has just reset based off of how their performance was in the last round. They readjusted so well and so quickly it seemingly has caught retake renegades off guard, but they also need to be careful as now they're the ones on the back foot, and at such a crucial time as well. They're going to attempt to hit the B side yet again. It's going to be a one-on-one trade twice that goes down, and we've come down to a 3 versus 3 CCG. It seems like they want to resist this. They don't want to let the bomb go down, and praise he's going to get his head blown up by the grenade. And now that's gonna keep Zox and Poison all on their own. The bomb yet to go down still. The nades not making matters any bit easier. The smokes keeping the players of CCG Bay on Bay at least for the time being. Bomb planted. And now that the teams have started to run out of util, the dust has started to settle. The push is gonna go in. Zog stuck into a corner. They know exactly where Poison is. He's been spotted out and taken out. The trade has come through, but now Zox is gonna get pressurized from two different angles. And that's gonna be the 12th on board for CCG. Just one more round needed, and they'll have secured their third victory.
CCG, well played retake there, and that's the kind of CS I love to see when you start playing as a team instead of just doing solo. A bit of risk that was taken by Retake Renegades, a wonderful risk that they nobody was watching the tunnel. They all held up for the double doors there, and it turns out everybody from the members of side of CCG were coming from there. A good team play. I think if somebody went from tunnel, it would have been wonderful for CCG. But if somebody was covering the tunnel, that is what ifs. Then if that person fell down, then I think two wouldn't be enough to just try and retake the site. So wonderful play by CCG, wonderful teamwork by CCG to retake the site and stop them from coming in. This time around, again, this rush coming in, and this time Jenny's gonna be able to find a value there, and that is huge. That's gonna be the first value found, and CCG might be able to wrap this one up if they want to. Fearless Beetle finds out another one, prays, gets taken out, and now it's all down to the last three members. CCG still have full retaliation from all five members as they walk towards the site. The Molly is gonna keep them up at bay for quite some time. Sabercat trying to enter now after the Molly being gone, finds a headshot onto Icarus. That's a nasty one. But Jenny comes through again through the smoke, trying to be sneaky, will do some damage. The upshot will not connect onto Poison, but Treehan holds the superior angle here through the smoke. He's going to be able to take him down, and now it's all down to Sabercat, who's all alone on the side, and Beetle still covering behind him. Fearless Beetle is going to be able to shut him down, and it's all down to time right now, as looks like Sabercat already left the game thinking that it is not gonna be enough. He doesn't have any trust on his teammate and his time. He doesn't know the positioning of Jenny, who's all the way behind, covering from the car, and Jenny's gonna be able to spot him out. One bullet to the head will do the job, and that's gonna be CCG bringing it back on the CT side and taking the victory in their bags. And what a win by them to win this Dust 2 map out and getting another W in their bags.
Yeah, I mean that was a really close call all throughout, and it was one of the more entertaining games that we've seen so far. With both of the teams just trading blows back and forth, the rounds being extremely close as well, at least for the most part. But towards the end of things, CCG provided exactly what we were hoping to see: a victory and rounds that were decisive, rounds where it felt like they were in control and it wasn't coming down to the wire, and just a few lucky shots or one player just stepping up. And the last final 4 rounds of victory, yeah, they felt like teamwork. They were getting trades, they were playing together, they were setting each other up for success, and that's the CCG we want to see, that we love to see. And that's a major reason why they had the success as well and got their third victory on board. But still, they have a long way to go. The second half of the regular season has just begun. They have 6 more games to be played, and a long run ahead to be able to make it into the playoffs. And hopefully, if they can keep this up, if they can get consistent on in this performances that we've seen on the nuke, that we've seen on Dust 2 today, if they can keep improving upon them, that road might be a tad bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. That should be the case. CCG need to work on this improvement. Like I said, they had a very good team play on the nuke, and they had a very good team play on this particular map as well. Especially Icarus, he's been absolutely performing out of his mind right now. He's the MVP of the game, and without no doubt, he deserves that title. Even in this game, even in the previous game, Nuke, even though they lost that one, Icarus was playing a very beautiful CS there. And as overall, I feel like they need to work on their team plays. Like they need to start getting those team plays more active and happen more often rather than the last 3-4 rounds of the entire game. So once they start doing that, they're gonna be much stronger and they're gonna be much stable. The scoreline will look much more bigger, not to 13-10, not look a close game like that. Because I feel like the enemy right now, Retake Renegade, they felt more like a pub stack than a proper team because they were playing individually good plays. They had good utility usage and they were just playing like doing some crazy stuff there. But if CCG starts to make up those team plays, doesn't matter whoever comes in front of them, they're going to be able to blow them off completely, and they're going to be able to just secure everything in the back pretty easily. So hoping to more better games from CCG and hoping for better ending from CCG in this season because they only have 6 more games left, and I want to see 6 Ws in the chat. But for now, for today and for this week, we are done with the ESEA season 52, as we're going to be waiting out for more games to come next week perhaps, and we're going to be coming live again from CCG's Twitch channel. Thank you Appcon for producing, and from the casting this, it was me, Zayn and Inflict, and we're going to see you guys again when CCG comes back on ESEA season 52 again.